It's the first talk of the day of the Cenacolo stage, so super exciting. Thank you everyone for being here. We have Stefano Rossi from PwC. He's going to have an interesting talk about the intersection between traditional finance and decentralized finance. So I'll leave you the floor and good luck.
Thank you very much. And I mean, it's a very beautiful place to be, and actually comes very well with the topic we have today, because we're going to talk about the merge between TradFi, the merge, no pun intended, with Ethereum, of course, between TradFi and DeFi. And we are in a very beautiful and historical place in the heart of Milan, the Science and Technology Museum. And it's nice how these guys have organized these events at Milan by considering these huge and beautiful places that have history, together with, of course, topic of innovation like DeFi. And I think this merges pretty well because I think this is the spirit, to have two worlds that are basically now integrating themselves together. And I think one can learn from the other. And I think this is what we are going to talk today. My name is Stefano Rossi. I work for PwC, senior manager, and long-timer in crypto, but now on the consulting side. Okay. So, I think everyone saw what's happening now in the market. We're seeing basically established banking systems, long-time asset managers, and basically the financial institutions of the old world incumbents thinking about how to possibly deploy their strategy around blockchain networks. If you are long enough in this space, you should remember how tough was to speak with these guys before, and now more and more they're looking for occasion to talk to the ones that are now in the industry, because I mean, there is no secret, there is a huge integration happening between TradFi and DeFi. Of course, the decentralized finance started from what traditional finance was doing, and of course DeFi is saying they're going to do that better. But the thing is, we have to think about traditional finance in terms of magnitude is still, of course, way bigger than DeFi. And what we'll be seeing in the next years, it's a way of integrating these two spheres. And already now, DeFi is giving a lot to TradFi. So watch out, because a few things that are now live in DeFi, next 2-3 years are going to be live in TradFi. You're going to see some examples in a while, and then I want to speak about with you, just to signal this ongoing synergy, as I was saying, of traditional finance now beginning to integrate blockchain technology. What happened now 10 years ago, it was that banks mainly wanted to create their own blockchain networks. They failed. They recognized the power of blockchain networks, and now everyone wants to build on top of public blockchains. So I think this is a great win from DeFi, from the DeFi world. This is a great win for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum community mainly, because if we are here today, it's because of them. And now everything that is coming after, it's going to basically create the way for the next wave of innovation. But sad to say, as the headline goes, DeFi builds and TradFi englobates. So watch out that TradFi is not going to be replaced by DeFi. DeFi is going to give a lot to the TradFi world, and many things will be built upon DeFi and public blockchain networks. But watch out, because these guys are going to come after us. So the evolution of fintech is creating this new phase where legacy systems are slowly but inevitably integrating with DeFi. Think about Beetle by BlackRock. It's I mean, don't misunderstand me, but it's a stupid financial instrument. It's a money market fund. The NAV, net asset value, is $1, but it became a tokenized fund. So one thing from the past very easily got tokenized, and now investors are going to go in and out of BUIDL thanks to stable coins. So imagine how this simple example, now BUIDL stands around 3 billion in asset under management, so it's still small compared to the opportunity of growth it can have, but it's a clear signal of how DeFi basically merged into DeFi. I mean, BlackRock, of course, is the largest asset manager in the world. JP Morgan is the largest bank in the world. After developing the JPM coin, now they're not going to create a stable coin, so some headlines, of course, were wrong. They're just going to do tokenized deposits on top of the old JPM coin and just leveraging tokenized deposits with their already existing use case. So they started internally, and now they're merging, and maybe one day, who knows, they are going to have their own stable coin. And another example, just to give you an idea of what's happening, is financial behemoth like Deutsche Börse. It's clearly adapting to decentralized finance. One of the, let's say, largest player that could have had troubles if not looking at this space, it's now moving at the speed of light in this. They have crypto custody already in place. They do tokenization. They can do clearing for and settlement for blockchain transactions. So this means, I mean, it's no longer a secret. Therefore, I connect again with the headline and what I said. TradFi is not going to be replaced by DeFi. So there is a huge opportunity, of course, to merge the best of these two worlds, but these guys are coming. What are the synergies, benefits, and challenges right now available in terms of merging TradFi and DeFi? Of course, having a single source of truth, thanks to blockchain, that's the paramount synergy you can have, because when everyone is on the same ledger, everyone sees the same data and information, that of course opened the way for transparency and auditability, which is very important in the financial industry. Then, of course, with blockchain, you have atomic settlement. You're going to reduce post-trade, and it's already this word challenging the T+X cycles. And, of course, the best that is yet to come is the composable architecture already seen in the DeFi space applied to TradFi. That is just at the beginning, but it's going to come. Major benefits, of course, you have faster transactions. I don't know if it's a benefit or not to have a market 24/7, 365, because I think about those that work, for example, in the trading space in traditional finance. They're not ready yet for 24-hour-a-day trading, but this is what is going to happen in the next years. And there is a huge global access to liquidity thanks to stablecoins. Stablecoins right now sits at a market cap of 250 billion, projected to 2 trillion. And if they're going to grow more, expect this use of stablecoins even higher in the future. The estimates, if you scrape the data from decentralized, from exchanges doing settlement between themselves, sit blockchain transactions with stable coins at around 5.7 trillion per year, Visa data. You can go on the Visa on-chain dashboard and see it for yourself. So there is a huge opportunity to use these tools to move money and value around. But what about the challenges? Of course, there is still regulatory uncertainties around the world. In 2019, I was already talking about the cybersec vulnerabilities. You know how many hacks have been happening in DeFi. This is going to stay. It's a new technology, new protocols, new smart contracts. So cybersec vulnerabilities are still going to be there, but there are some ways to manage the risk. And again, TradFi is very much able to plan and deal with risk. The DeFi space, I don't know how ready it is to manage huge risk when the total value locked is going to go higher, because then the higher the value, the higher the incentive for, let's say, bad actors to attack the protocols. So we need robust governance mechanism and risk management. Without these two things, DeFi is never going to go mainstream, and TradFi will outlive it in the long run. Some data, very interesting, that also matches with our data from a panel of 10 financial institutions globally. The source in this case, because it's the latest data, is from ISSA, the in the real world. 56% it's already pledging tokenized securities for collateral. So they are using tokenized instruments as collateral. 51% is willing to launch tokenized fund, and the more will come. 50% is going to issue digital asset like stablecoins or digital bonds or whatever. And the average annual cost of a digital asset per firm right now sits at 2.2 million. So it's becoming one of the budget basket of financial institution, because it's starting to be an important number. And as usual, the North America is outspending Europe and Asia in terms of investments by 200% per year. So as usual, we're going to stay behind. Also, thanks to the regulation happening in the States, if they invest more, they're going to have a larger share of the market. And what are the most wanted asset classes right now? Stablecoins, bonds, and money market funds. So not sexy as flash loans and other stuff happening in DeFi, yield farming, whatever, but still it's a starting point for TradFi. So what's the future outlook? We see a financial landscape where decentralized innovation coexists with the financial institution. We expect gradual regulatory harmonization. I mean, we need them, because at the end of the day, investors are going to need to be protected. So you never know when you use a DeFi protocol who you are dealing with. One thing is if we play around with, let's say, pocket money. Another thing is we play with billions. And we will expect market diversity, because some of the DeFi tools and products are going to be merged in TradFi. But very important, again, just to stress it, improved risk management practice. It's the paramount thing to have in mind, first of all, for DeFi players, if they want to challenge the TradFi world. And in terms of what we see happening right now, there is a huge institutional adoption thanks to these dynamic financial products that can be launched. Think about Beetle, for example. And corporate treasuries are finally going after DeFi, because they just don't want to hold Bitcoin and Ethereum as assets on balance sheet. They want yield, and DeFi is going to give them this yield to better integrate these assets in the future. In terms of PwC, what we do, our experience is mainly in custody. I think the paramount when you want to handle funds is about custody, no keys, no security, no key management, no security, tokenization, payments, stable coins, of course DeFi. We're also doing some work on digital identity, self-sovereign identity, and ZK protocols. And what you will have from us, it's business and tech knowledge. We are a long timer in the blockchain space. Of course, we deal with risk, both financial and non-financial. We have to deal with then all the other regulatory and compliance stuff like tax, accounting, legal, AML, compliance, and most of all, cyber and privacy. Because again, this is about technology. This technology, it's a brilliant technology, But like all the brilliant thing needs to be managed in the right way. As Spider-Man used to say, from great power comes great responsibility. Thank you very much, guys. I don't know if I have to take questions or I have to leave.
Sorry, guys, I was a bit late. Anyone has any question? Yeah, we do.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Very clear, thank you. About your experience, your idea for the future, in terms of access and in terms of participation. Let's start with participation. We have really two different forms of participation. If you go to traditional bank, you know that you have your friends inside the branch. You talk with Mario as your family, and you have a direct access to people and to the branch. On the other hand, we have people which are more linked to Discord or Telegram or whatever. So they have let me say, a community approach to information, to communities and whatever. So you see this aspect. And secondarily, linked to this, the access. I do my DeFi by myself. If I buy something in the bank, they take care of everything. And also, who's going to do that for me? They are going to do that for me directly. I can do that for me. And also, that was not the idea of cryptos to limitate, let me use this turn around, limited the middleman, middlewoman, with the people. Thank you.
Yeah, it's clear. I start from the bottom. I also do self-custody, but when you realize that it's about risks and risk management, I mean, after a lot of years in the space and seeing what's happening also, we've seen what's happening in France. At the end of the day, this is about wealth and wealth planning, wealth management. So at the end of the day, you want to go where you know that there are institutions that are born to do that. Right now, there are some experience, some nice experience. I'm not going to mention name in DeFi. I like the self-custody part of DeFi, but at the end of the day, I'm the single point of failure. Because if I do self-custody, I do things wrong, both from the hacking side, from the cyber threat side. If I do a mistake, I'm going to lose on my wealth. So I think there's going to be a point where if this needs to go mainstream, these big players are going to give a hand to the world of customers. So I would love to keep doing that for myself, but at the end of the day, you recognize how tough it is to manage this stuff. About the communities are so powerful, but I think we reached the point where there is too much noise. It's very hard to, let's say, distinguish between good source of information and bad source of information. I personally follow some X accounts and some channels where I know the people that manage them, and on the other side it's very tough to manage what's coming